Hello, guys. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be. My name is Nicole Petersen, and I am the owner, designer, custodian, whatever you want to call me, at Picket Fence Studios. Um, my husband and I both we started Picket Fence Studios about 6 years ago, 6.5. I always forget. And we are a stamp, die, embellishment, mixed media, stencil manufacturer in South Louisiana. We live in a city called Houma, which is Houma, Louisiana. So if anybody wants to go, oh, I see you're already telling me good morning. Hi. Hi, Jen. Hi, Annie. Hi, Shari. Awesome, guys. I was worried about if you could hear or see me. Awesome. I'm so excited. Hi, Misty. So they can definitely see and hear me. Well, I know you can hear me. Is everything clear on your side? I'm going to give it a few more minutes. So Picket Fence Studios, like I said, we are about 6 years old. I always forget. And my name is Nicole Petersen. I was an elementary school teacher for 18 years. Hello from Wisconsin. And I taught third, fourth, and fifth grade, the grades throughout, on and off different grades. Mostly I taught fourth grade for the longest, for 18 years. And some years I taught all subjects, so I was self-contained. Some years I taught just English, reading and math, reading, English, spelling, and writing. Other years I was self-contained. So I actually preferred being self-contained because I enjoyed teaching science as well. So, hi. Yes. So it was nice to meet. Yeah, awesome. So I did meet you, Anne, at the Nashville Craft Retreat. Yes, I did. That was a very fun event. I got to be a student, guys. I got to go to an event and I was a student. I didn't really work. Well, I worked a little bit, just did a little fun make and take, but that wasn't a big deal. Those I don't consider that work. That's fun. Hi, Utah. Sherry. All right. So, guys, we are going to play. So, remember how I just said that I really enjoyed teaching science? That was science and math were my favorite. However, we taken that science that I, did teach for half of those 18 years. I am actually the one who made up all of the original recipes for our paper glaze products. So we are going to play with some paper glaze, specifically paper glaze Luxe, which is the product you see here. So it is a super shiny. So the Luxe version, which is this version, it is a super hyped up, loaded up with glitter and mica. So we're going to be using this one. This one is called Black Eyeliner. How you like that, right? You know a girl named this. So this one's called Black Eyeliner, and it was released, I don't know if it was last year or it was sometime in 2024. But it's, it's new. I consider everything within a year new, right? The Luxe, there you go. This is Luxe, our paper glaze Luxe. However, we are also going to be playing with the product called Paper Glaze Luxe Midnight. Okay, and Midnight specifically is a product that I prefer to use it on dark cardstock. So when I say dark cardstock, I mean dark, like a dark purple, a dark brown, a dark green, even mid-tones you can get away with Midnight. And it actually shows up very well. So this is the color that we're going to be playing with. It is called Haunted Pumpkin. So this is called Luxe Midnight. And these versions, this version and also our Twinkle Lights, are also are like super, you couldn't put any more glitter inside them if you wanted to. They have no mica in it, which would cover the glitter. There's no mica. There's just like many shades of different glitters. Some of them have I think we're up to like 12 on one of them. Eventually my husband tells me he's had enough. He now mixes all and does all the, all the stuff like that in our little lab. So we actually do make our own paper glaze products in-house, as well as our mixed media, as well as our paper splatter. So also I have another new one, which is called Slime Green. Now this is just a regular paper glaze luxe. So this is paper glaze, but it has mica and glitter in it. So you're going to notice that this one is not as thick as the Midnight or the Twinkle Lights. And that's because this one has tons of glitter, but it also has mica to give it that color. However, Midnight and Twinkle Lights only get their color from the glitter. So they both have clear bases, which is a whole nother concept, right? Now, if you just notice, you just saw me wipe the lid of this paper glaze luxe. That's because whenever you're using a mixed media product that has any type of something in it that will adhere, like a glue product, a glue base, you always want to make sure you clean that rim very well. And that way your product will stay fresh a lot longer. Also, with our products, they dry super fast. So you always want to make sure you just take a little baby wipe or a damp, whatever you like to use, and just wipe off your tools as well. So anything that you get paper glaze on, you want to clean, I would say, within, 20, 35 seconds, let's say a minute, less than a minute, 45 seconds. So you're going to notice that when I'm done stenciling, my husband is actually here, and he's just making sure nothing goes wrong with the technical issues behind it. However, he will go rush and clean off my stencil for me because we know what happens to stencils once the paper glaze dries. Okay, so we are going to be playing with many different things. The main thing that we're going to be working on is this die. So these are our brand new category of dies that you build, and these are called nibbles. So this is Candy Ghost Nibbles. Then we have, this is our, this is a mushroom. This, we have an acorn. So these three were released recently in, I think it was July, which is recently. So we have a candy ghost, which is like candy corn, and then an acorn, and then a mushroom. But we also just released, and I mean like 4 days ago, a Christmas version of our nibbles. So we released, this is a bear, and he actually can be a regular bear as well as a Christmas bear, and he can also be a polar bear. And then we have, this is Mrs. Claus, and this is Santa Claus. I have only been able to play digitally with these Christmas ones so far. Hopefully I'll get time this week. So today we are going to play with the Candy Ghost, because I figured that was the one that most people would be interested in seeing, since it's supposed to be a Halloween card, right? Okay. We also are going to play with a stencil. This is called Eerie Night. Okay. So Eerie Night, you'll see it might look like it's a mask, but it's actually not. It's part mask and part stencil. So you'll see that some of it looks like a stencil, and then some of it will actually look like a mask. But it's super, super easy to use, like so simple. And it's very well constructed, so you shouldn't have any trouble with getting paper glaze or a thicker product to go through it. I also went ahead and made a little mini version of it, and it's called Mini Eerie Night. So this is Eerie Night A2 stencil, and then this is Mini Eerie Night A2 stencil. So what you're going to notice is that I call things A2, and that's because, let's see if I can catch the light. Right here, now it's on a 6x6, but right here, there is a faint little line that shows you exactly where your A2 card front should be located. So it's just a little faint line right there, and they're on pretty much all of our A2 stencils. So when we do play with this stencil, you're going to notice that it actually fits perfectly on an A2 card front. Okay, so this is one that I did already, and I can just take this and place the stencil the right way, Nicole. And you'll see that it actually, well, I can just get it to go right in there, but you can see it fits perfectly on this A2 card front because you have this little line right here. So you can center it, and it's, so much easier to use. Now, guys, whenever you're working with stencils, always remember that stencils all of them are reversible, right? Just because this comes in the package that this is the front doesn't actually mean that it has to stay the front, because all stencils are reversible. So you just flip it over, and if you wanted the bat on this side, the big bat on this side instead of on this side, then just flip it over, right? You just flip it over and they're all reversible, which is really something that we don't always think about, but they are. Okay, so what we're going to do is I have started playing with the Midnight. So this is the Midnight Haunted Pumpkin. And here is another one that I created with the Haunted Pumpkin. Now, this one I made with black eyeliner, with Paper Glaze Luxe black eyeliner. And this one is the Paper Glaze Luxe Midnight, which is called Haunted Pumpkin. And you can see how well that Haunted Pumpkin stands out against a dark cardstock, right? So I went ahead and I have already pre-die cut this, but I wanted to show you, this is an A2 die. Do you see this right here? And all you have to do is, I always use a bigger piece of paper than normal. And after you let it dry thoroughly, you can place this on it, and you can see that it fits perfectly in the middle of an A2 card. So what I do is that when I'm working on things digitally, I always open an A2 card front and I play around with the elements that I put on stamps and dies. So that way I can make sure that everything is proportioned. So you can see this is what that little rectangle around the stencil does for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to spread some of the new paper glaze Midnight, and we're going to be using, and this might sound funny, but we're going to be using this magnetic, I don't know what you would call it, magnetic board, which I've had forever. But on here, I have our brand new, I'll just lift it up partway, our brand new 8x8 paper inking palette. So this I keep on here. It stays on here all the time. But I do keep the top of our 8x8 inking palette on top of it so it stays nice and clean, okay? Now, what's great about this, why did I do this? I could just use it on my glass mat that's right here on the table, but guys, you can use the magnets through our paper inking palette to this metal, to this right here. And if you don't have this, go to a box store and find a piece of magnetic metal and slap a paper inking palette on top of it. And as long as it's good strength and it has nice, strong magnets, it's sticky. You can see through it. And if you use a piece of metal like this, it's also magnetic. So it really helps you with your stencils. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and show you. So I like to start with, and I honestly, truly, I just ripped my paper. So I want to start with a piece of paper on my paper inking palette that is a little bit smaller than, and actually I'm going to do it reverse this time for you guys to see how easy it is to use it with an A2 card front. Okay, so I'm using the back of it. So this is the front of the stencil and this is the back. So this time, instead of using it the correct way, I'm going to turn it over just to help us remember that you can always use your stencils front and back. This is going to keep my paper inking palette is going to keep my paper from moving. So all I really need to do is just make sure your stencil's flat, because sometimes you can actually have a little buckle or something in your stencil and that could mess up what you're doing. And I'm just going to stick some mint tape down just to keep my stencil. Now, you could use this without the tape. However, I want to have this to make sure it comes out right. So I'm also going to put these magnets down on top of my stencil as well. So I have a sticky surface. This is just here to protect my paper inking palette because I don't want it to get dirty. And then this is keeping it magnetic. So dig around your room and see if you happen to have a magnetic mat, and you can put your paper inking palette on top. And guys, it helps you have it magnetic and then sticky as well. Super cool thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how you want to apply paper glaze. So when you get paper glaze, you do not need to stir it, okay, at all. Actually, you don't want to work it too much. You see how, notice that this is mine, and when I opened it, it was nice and clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an amount, a dollop, I guess you could say, and I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to move down. Now, you'll notice that I did put the blue tape here because I wanted to protect my paper inking palette. You actually can get glitter on your paper inking palette. However, you have to sit there and immediately clean it off. And I don't have time to do that during a live. So we're just going to use the magnetic and a little blue tape. Okay, and that's it. That's how fast it was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the excess back in my jar. However, I'm going to try to get it in my jar, not just around the lid. And I'm going to, within 45 seconds, wipe my tool off. And then I'm going to, the same wipe, come around here and clean that lid. So I make sure I get a very good jar, a jar that is nice and tightly shut. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this off. And I'm going to pull up this tape first. And I do reuse my tape all the time. And now I'm going to attempt to pull my stencil up. Ah, I did it. Sometimes I mess up my actual design by picking it up. So silly, right? So as you can see, it's perfect. It looks really good. And notice how fast that was. I didn't go back and forth over it and over it again and again, because going over a stencil with something like this, you will end up making a mistake. So I did it really fast. And look how gorgeous that is. And when it dries, it's going to look just like this. So this stencil is going to get washed right away within like a minute. So that way none of the glitter or the base dries onto your stencil. So you always have to make sure you wash your tools quickly as well as your stencil. You always want to clean it. So I'm going to put this away for now, let that dry. And I can tell you, if you have a ceiling fan wherever you work, if you put your ceiling fan on or any fan on while you're waiting for this to dry, it's amazing how quick it actually works. So this is what it'll look like once it's dry again. And if you notice, remember I said that an A2 die, or you can just trim it to an A2, fits perfectly. Okay, so now let's get down to what we wanted to talk about today. Let's talk about our cute little nibbles. So we are going to work today on white, okay, with the black eyeliner paper glaze. We're going to use the midnight one, which I do have a sheet here. The midnight one we're going to use for our letters, okay? So this is black eyeliner, which I don't know what it is. I'm obsessed with it. But this is what slime green looks like. This is slime green with a little bit of black eyeliner. And then this was the third swipe of a dirty stencil where I just got a little bit. So you can see that these colors play very well together. Okay, so when I was playing with my nibble, well, I shouldn't say that. That's terrible. When I was working with Candy Ghost, it comes in a very small footprint, and it will cut out everything that you need in one pass. So what I decided to do is I was going to just take a whole bunch of papers, and just die cut a whole bunch of them, okay? So I used 2 different papers that we manufacture. So I used this set right here, which it just released, and it's Halloween Gingham, what this one is called. And then this is the other one I'm using, which is called Happy Gingham. And I'm going to be using the black, okay? Because see how great that black looks with that? So I will be, and these are called glossy card fronts, and you can check them out. We have there, you use them as pattern paper, or you could use them, as a background. We have lots of them. They're very popular. So what I did is I took the nibbles. Sorry. I took my sorry, my dog's barking. The Nibbles Candy Ghost, and I just sat there and I cut out a whole bunch of pieces. Okay. So a whole bunch of pieces. So I cut them into, so you can see this is what the base, this is about the size of the base. If you want to see it in my hand, you can see it right there. The size of the base of and they're all the same. All the nibble dies are the exact same size. So I went ahead and I cut a whole bunch of them out, okay? And I was playing around with this earlier, and you can see I have a whole bunch of little purses cut out, or sorry, the little bucket for the bucket for collecting candy. I have some hats all cut out in different things. So what I was working with earlier, and I'm going to tell you what my original idea. So my original idea was to take this, which is one of our dies. It is called, it's a scallop, not scallop. It's, here it is. It's called pinking shear. It looks like this. And it actually comes with another plate in the middle of it also. So when you buy most of our cover plates, you also get an interior die as well as the outside. So you can see this fits beautifully on an A2 card front. So I went ahead and I thought what I was going to do was use this as my base. And I was thinking, okay, I'll put this base on top of this black card front. I mean, it's gorgeous, right? It looks so good. However, when I started playing with my ghost and messing around with them, my candy ghost, and I wanted to use my candy ghost, that was my top priority. It just got a little too busy. So I decided, hey, why don't we go ahead and try using a white card base, and then we will use our candied ghost. We can make them, the one you want to highlight, really colorful, right? Like this one. And then the other two, you can either just leave them like this, where they look like, I don't know, a ghost without a hat. So, and then I made this ghost, and I took a base and made it with the yellow gingham and some, orange. And I figured, how cute would that be, where I could put all three of them together, because I wanted to really make a set of three of them. I also did this one as well. As you can see, I did the gingham with black on top, and it's cute. And if you really wanted to go for just a black and white theme, it really is cute, just like that. Then I have this face front. So I have this face where I was thinking, well, I could put this green on top, and then I'll have two black and white ghosts with a green face front. So I really played around with it, and I cut up a whole bunch of pieces, and then just sat there and goofed around for, I'm gonna admit it, for a couple of hours. And then decided, okay, well, I want color and I want my candy ghost to be the center. So I'm going to go with a black and white instead of a colored background. But we are going to add color, but our color is going to be, so look how cute he is. Our color is going to be from our Midnight Haunted Pumpkin, which we're going to die cut with letters. So you can see how cute. Oh, that's kind of cute too. But I want the orange because, like I said, we're going to use the Haunted Pumpkin Midnight. Okay, so this is what I want to do. I wanted to show you at least a little bit part of it. So it comes with the base, right? It cuts out the base. Let me grab it again. It cuts out the base, and then it cuts out this little face right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. It cuts out the face, which just goes right across the body of the candy ghost. And then you have little bits of hats. So here's a cute little hat that I made earlier. And it makes a hat bottom and a little accent piece. It also die cuts these super cute, I'm not going to call them purses, I'm going to call them buckets, but look how cute that little bucket is, right? And all you have to do is just put a little black cardstock on the back of it or white, and then it fills in the eyes and the face. I mean the mouth. Isn't that cute? Yeah, I know, because I know most Halloween cards people don't think black and white, but why not? I mean, it was really just kind of jiving with me today, the black and white. So we have this little guy here, or we have my orange one, which I think I really want to go with orange, but I'm not really cool with this piece. Do y'all see that? See how this top piece is orange? So I have made sure that I had other pieces of the hat already cut out. So I thought in my little bucket right here. So I have one, sorry. When you're live, your fingers don't work. So I thought, okay, what about a hat, a orange hat, and then we could put the little black topper on. And then I was like, okay, Nicole, that's even too much orange for you. That's like way too much. So see, I could put this little piece on top like this. Too much orange. So then I thought, okay, what about a black hat with a little bit of orange on top? But then I started thinking, maybe I should do the black and white gingham on top, right? Oh, that's the one I like. That's it. Because I even had cut out some green, and I even had cut out a little white hat topper. And I just sat here and played around with it until I was happy. And, that's okay. But I think we're going to go with the black and white gingham. I really like the pop of orange right here, like so. I really like that. I like that it just has a little bit of orange going on. Yes. Very, very classic. But I still have all of these guys. So if I wanted to, I could come in and put 3 of them. But then that's too much. We got ghosts going on. We're just going to put the pumpkin in front of the ghost, right? But what about this little green front? What do y'all? No, I don't like the green. I mean, I like the green, but it is what it is. And then we got to remember the little bucket to put it on. Okay. So I'm going to show you real quick how to slap on this little first piece right here after I find my tweezers. And I have my Misty glue press. And I'm just going to take this off. And I'm going to remember to use my tweezers because I get the tweezers out and then forget to use them. So I did make sure this was unclogged before we got on. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back, which is a little bit too much glue. And then I'm just going to go ahead. And what if we off-centered it? No, because we could do this. We could off-center the hat a little bit. But I don't think so. I think we're going to go ahead and just go with the black and white gingham, where it's just that punch of orange that's going through the body of our little candy ghost. Yeah, I think I like him. Now, when I did the face, because the face cuts out, it'll cut out the eyes and the mouth at the same time. Before I glued it down, I just took a little piece of white cardstock and glued it to the back. You see, like this. So that way your eyes can be whatever color you like. And I thought that here the white eyes would be the best. But later on, if you don't want, you could always go in and fill it in with a black pen, right? And then I have this cute little hot pink bucket that I made. And I did make a few other buckets of different sizes. Different patterns. But we can decide that later. So let's go ahead and stick this front. Now remember, guys, all I did was I took this that you just saw me demonstrate, and I literally put an A2 die on top of it, taped it down, and ran it through my die cut machine again, and it is perfectly centered. And that's because our A2 stencils are meant to fit perfectly on and centered onto an A2 card front. Got to remember to close my glue. Are y'all bad about that too? I'm horrible about that. Forget to close it. And I live in Louisiana, so trust me, I have to close my glue. I also thought about I know I'm running my mouth. Thought about maybe I had made these little guys that were just black and white with no hat, just to kind of show, I thought that was cute too. And then originally I just thought y'all would be interested in seeing how a thought process changes as you go. And I just really wanted that orange to pop out more than this. So that's why I did away with this for the back. And I decided to go with just that little pop of gingham, of the orange. It's orange and black gingham. So we did in our Halloween set, instead of doing like white and black gingham, I did the color with, instead of doing a white and color like I've done with all the other ones, I decided to fill in part of the gingham with black. So the other gingham looks like this, where it's a color and white, but this fun Halloween version is black on the inside. So it gives you that extra little pop. And I don't know about you guys, but I love gingham. It's just so classic, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me smile. So I do have an A2 card front here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so it's going to be a side folding, and I'm leaving this as is. Maybe I should pop it up with some foam. I love foam, and I definitely enjoy popping it up. Okay, so let's see. I have white foam. We make this product where it's white foam and it's a sheet. We also make one that's black, and I don't see any of the black. So normally, I'm gonna be honest, whatever color the card base is, that's the color that I would use for my foam. However, today I decided I wouldn't grab a piece of black, and I only grabbed a piece of white. So we also have this foam on a roll as well. We have a roll of white and a roll of black. So what I'm going to do is, and I like to keep the yellow on here instead of the white, because what it does is it helps me see on whatever side that I'm putting my paper, my foam. So if you see, our foam is specially cut, and I could have centered it a little bit better, but right here, you see that look how easy that was to get foam all over the back of this. And I left the yellow one on, like I said, so that way I would be able to see it when I was putting it down. Now, all I have to do is make sure you're on the right side of the paper. Thank you. And you're going to just line it up. You know what? Also, our foam has a few seconds before it adheres completely. And what I like to do with foam is I like to put a little liquid glue on it. Look, our glue sticks, this stuff sticks really well. The glue is not actually needed. The glue is on here to give me a little bit of wiggle time, that if I do not get it straight the first time I go to put it on, this is going to help me get it straight. So I'm going to just line it up. I should know better than to do this on a live, because this is like one of my, we all have that one thing that we're not good at in card making. This is my one thing. Doing a card front on cardstock, getting it straight. All right, there we go. Not bad. Okay, so now we have it stuck, our card base stuck onto a black card base. And I do like colored cardstock. I know a lot of people like just white card bases, but I enjoy a card base that's a color. Not everything, has to be just white, correct? So now we have it stuck down. And if you see, the foam fills it all up, and it just makes the whole entire front of this card pop up. Okay, now I think I'm going to go ahead and put my little nibbles guide. But I have a whole bunch of extra of these pieces die cut, right? I think I might take these two white ones, and go ahead and just put them on the back of this, because I have them sitting here. So I could cut out another piece of foam, but the paper will make it thicker without making it a lot thicker. It just makes it a little bit thicker. So I do this is like a thing that I do all the time. So I'm just going to add here a white. Candy goes back to to it. And then now I'm going to do a second one. So I have 3 bases on my little candy ghost. And it just gives it a little extra oomph to it. And I also did it with the face, if you guys can see that. And then I did it also when I put that gingham part onto the hat. So it just gives it a little extra something, something. Okay. So here, I'm going to put my ghost. So now put some more glue and get it down. Now, if I was working at my desk and, not live, and I am one to put things off center, okay? You might say, Nicole, why did you not put that ghost right there in the center? I don't know. It's just something that I started doing when I was a younger adult with decorating my house. And my husband will tell you, it drives him crazy, but I like things off kilter. I have no idea why. So you see, I'm putting it more towards 1/3 of the card instead of directly into 1/2. And this works because we have 3 ghosts and then the 1 pumpkin. So we're still negative. It works because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. The 3 ghosts and then the 3 bats, the circle, and the ghost. So right here, overall, we are still working with an odd number, which also is the reason why I like things a little off kilter. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is I said we were going to go ahead and die cut this. Guys, I don't think I want to die cut this now. I think I just want to do a black and white sentiment. Seriously, I think I just want to do a sentiment on it. I don't even want to mess with, it's got so much going on already that I think I'm just going to save this for another time. Why not, right? Definitely. So normally I would have my letters cut out, but this is another one of our, this is how I store my stamps, by the way. This is these are our 6x6 stamp pouches. And what I do is I put the month and the year that something was released. So that way, and I just know when it came out, right? So this is a set called Be My Boo. Okay, and there are all these cute little ghosts being silly. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use one of these sentiments. And this was just the one that I happened to pull. So we have Happy Halloween, actually, which is cute. We could Be My Boo. I kind of like to always put my sentiments by my, let's see. I don't know if that's going to work. These do not have dies. So it's going to have to be something I can stamp. Where should we put it? Hi, it's us. See, I'm not going to do this because it's like too diagonal from that. I could just put a little boo right here. A little boo. Just literally stamp it right there, and that will be done. This says, hello, my dear. Like, the ghost is accentuating, drawing out, hi, it's us. That's cute. This is my stamp set. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to go with Happy Halloween. I think I'm just going to go with Happy Halloween and put it right there. All right, so I'm going to get my Misty out. I do like to stamp on my cards. I know it's a lot of, if I mess it up, I mess it up. If I mess it up, well, I'll just have to go back and stick a piece of paper right there, right? So I have a Misty sticky mat in here. So it's going to hold my card base. Oh, hope I don't see my head. And I'm just going to go ahead, and this is a new font that I've been using too. I don't know about you guys, but do stamps just like stick to your skin? Oh, okay. So Happy Halloween, it looks straight, and this will still work. Even though I have all that stuff in there, it will actually go ahead and pick it up. Do y'all see? Oh, I'm sorry, I was off center. So right here, I just set the Happy Halloween right here, and I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Now, we do have our own black ink. It's a hybrid ink, so you can use it with, actually, I put it on the back so everybody could remember. Alcohol inks, watercolor markers, watercolors, colored pencils, dye ink, pigment ink, all kinds of stuff. So that's why I like hybrid ink, because it is the ink that allows you to have more freedom. I know when it used to be where we used to have to always have like 3 black ink pads with us at all times. Remember that? And it was annoying because if you went to a crop or something, you always had to have, I'm just going to put this right here to make sure. I'm going to check it first just to make sure it's straight. You would always have to have like 3 ink pads, remember? So that way you had one that was for dye ink, one that was, there we go. Stamped well. One that was for dye ink, one that, you could work with your pigment ink, another one for this, another one for that. And it just kind of got to where it was annoying. And then when hybrid ink came out, it dawned on me, wait a minute. I'm just going to add a little water to this right here. And I'm going to use my stamp scrubber to condition the stamp. So you could use this for it conditions your stamp and it also cleans it. So if you see that hybrid ink, it washed right off with your stamp scrubber. And this is what I use. This is our stamp scrubber. And you can use it for cleaning, for conditioning. Either way, it works. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of water on it to clean it off. And I do not have a microfiber cloth. So guess what? A t-shirt always works. I am not in my studio. This is a little video room off to it's a little annex of my studio because I don't like having my, I don't like having the lights all over me all the time. So I've conditioned my stamp and then I lifted it up, but I just need to wipe it. So I forgot to bring a microfiber cloth. All right, so we're just going to position it again, but my t-shirt always works, right? Normally I would have used a microfiber cloth, so that way I would not have not taken the chance of having any kind of excess on my stamp, like excess lint. So I'm going to ink this up again. Let's see how it goes. Hold our breath. I'm not going to push too hard because I don't want it to mush out. And it's taller than a normal card would be in your MISTI. So we're going to have to stamp it a couple of times just to make sure that we get it nice and dark. One more time. It's actually the Happy is Good. It's the Halloween. Normally you wouldn't need to ink something up this much, but look how thick this is inside the Mystic. I don't know if y'all can get that, but it has all that foam on it. So I should have stamped my sentiment before I put the foam on, but guess what? It always works. This always works. There we go. Gorgeous. I am a stamp on the card kind of girl. I like to have my sentiment stamped. Now look, don't get me wrong. I like to have a die cut for my stamps also, all die cuts. However, this stamp set does not have a die set. It is a single lone stamp set. It's a Lone Ranger. So I'm going to cover my ink. And what I want to do is I want to do some flicking. So we do have 2 new products. We have lots of paper splatter, but we have these 2 new products. Nicole, you forgot the little purse. I forget everything. So these are 2 new products and they're called opaque splatter. So this is the kind of splatter that you want to use whenever you're working on top of a product that is porous. No, non-porous, because this is going to dry on top and not absorb into the paper, which is what you want. When you have something like paper glaze, or even our glossy paper right here, it has a gloss finish to it. So if you just use a regular dye or watercolor splatter on this, it would not dry on top of the glossy paper, nor would it dry on top of the paper glaze. So I think I want to do some black for sure. And I'm going to use another paper inking palette. Oh, there it is. So this is a smaller paper inking palette. This is the 5x6. And you can see I used it earlier to watercolor the little, keep calling it a purse. Oh, I do need to put the purse. Thank you, Cherie. That's what you were saying. So guys, make sure the lid's on tight and give it a good shake. A long time ago, whenever I was really into alcohol inks, whenever Ranger came out with an alcohol ink that had mica in it, I went ahead and bought one of those fingernail polish shakers, and I always forget to take it out. But it does have, this is a paint base, so you have to mix it together because it will separate, just like all paint separates. So this is called opaque black and opaque white. And the reason why we called it opaque is we wanted to make a distinguish between these and our watercolor ones, okay? Now, we do have a product. This is a fan brush. This is a product we came out with, I mean, really within probably the first 6 months that we were ever a company. My husband was looking online for something one day, and he's like, don't you like fan brushes? I'm like, yeah. So next thing I know, we're releasing a fan brush. And it is still selling all the time. It's great. It's a really good fan brush. And you might think, well, why do I need a fan brush? Let me show you why. What's great about the fan brush is that this fan brush, it's high livy. It's very, very thin. Can y'all see that? So it's also very inexpensive, but because of this thinness, you can get your splatter on it and it doesn't stay stuck between the bristles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, normally I would add a little bit of water, but I don't want to go just completely crazy because, you know, I did just make this card. And I'm going to come pretty high up, and I'm just going to do some light splatters. Now, if there's some areas that are kind of just blank or a little bit, you know, a little bit too white, too much white space, you can always come around to those spaces and fill in a little bit more with just some simple splatter. Hey guys, if you splatter a lot, does your computer have splatter on it? My computer has splatter all over it. I sit there and have to clean it off all the time. Yes, fan brushes are a really good. And this one is, I think it's $4, $5. It's really inexpensive. So yes, my computer just got or this is my computer. Yeah, this one's mine. Sometimes I get it on my husband's if I'm using his during live, but it's okay. I'm just going to clean up a little bitty bit just because this is the opaque. And you can see it's just a little bit. That's really all I wanted because I want to make sure my focus stays on my candy ghost. So Cherie just reminded me not to forget my little buckets. Another good reason to have a microfiber towel is because when you wet your surface, you can dry it. Let me grab, so let's see which one. I don't want to put an orange one, but do I want to put, so the little bucket or the purse, do we want to stick with the black and white gingham? Oh, I don't know. Or do we, how about, I have this pink one that I actually watercolored. Do we want just a little bitty touch of pink? A little bit? Or we have just a plain white one? A plain white one? I don't know about that one. Or how about this? I die cut all the colors. What about this orange one? Pop his little eyes out. So you do have to pop the eyes out if you want. And then he also has a fun little mouth. So do we want, that might be going a little too matchy-matchy. Let's see, because he would have to have some eyes behind it. I don't know. The pink, y'all like the pink one? That one? Okay, that's cool with me. We can go with that one. Pink it is. Everybody likes the pink. Okay, now I'm a little concerned because did I not leave enough space for the little? No, I can just cockeye it a little to the side. All right, so I'm going to put a little glue on the back. And I also am going to make sure you have glass on your on your actual glasses. Oh yeah, all the time. I'm just going to make sure I get some glue on the little, I told you I always forget to use my tweezers. Oh, and I don't want to put it in his face or her face or its face. It's I'm just going to try to get it tucked under a little bit like that. Or how about I just cut? How about I just cut a little of it off? Come on, scissors. And then that way, there we go. It'll look like it's tucked in. Much better. Tweezers are such a good tool. There we go. That way it looks like it's tucked under. Ta-da! We're almost finished. However, we have to add gems or sequins because, that's just kind of, I have to have some little bit more sparkle on it. So this is one of our new, what is this called? It is called Hi Boo. That seems to be the theme of today, the word boo. So, and it has these fun little Halloween faces and little witch hats and faces. Or I grabbed these yellow gems. They're not yellow. They're more of, they're called Starry Nights. So they're more of like a cream, they're like a light yellow, but kind of cream looking at the same time. So, or we have this sequence set. This is called Finally Halloween. Yes, before you ask, it does get, I do have to name everything. Sometimes my husband and I, when we mix sequence, we're literally Googling things. Halloween words, Christmas words. Because after a while, you're like, okay, I don't know what to name this stuff. What did I name stuff last year? Yeah. I do not have, hold on just one little second. I thought I had brought my little tool in here for, I think I'm going to use some gems instead of sequins, just because I kind of like gems. But I want to stick with my rule of 3. So what I like to do is just grab some and dump them into the cap part of the compact. Got to make sure I grab some little babies. The babies are my favorite size. They're 3 millimeters and they just are perfect. Let me see if I can get that one right there. So look, guys, this is one of all 3 sizes. So there's a 3 millimeter, a 4 millimeter, and a 5 millimeter in all of our gem sets of all the colors. So see the little baby? The baby's my favorite, of course. But I think this one is clear. I'm going to take that clear one out and put in one that is not clear. Okay, so here comes the hard part. Am I going to put my gems here, move them over, or they're next to my sentiment? I don't have a problem figuring out how to arrange my gems and stuff. I have issue trying to figure out if I'm putting too many and where exactly on the card to put them. So what about those 3 there? And then we come up and put 2 more over here. What about that? That might look good. But I want to make one big one, and then I think I have another baby. Sorry, usually I have my little tool for this, but I don't know where I put it. And then another little baby one, right? Stay baby. Maybe like right there instead. Maybe push it a little bit higher. How about that? There we go. That's it. All right. So now I'm going to be using my finger tool. I'm going to put a little bit of glue like right there. Oops. Right there. Thank God glue is clear because I would be in trouble. All right. I actually have glue on the back of my finger. See, we can do this without all the tools. Said no one ever. I don't know where it is. It's actually my Gina K little tool. All right, there we go. I think that's good. I think y'all get the idea. The sequence mix, some sequence too. Ooh, let's see. Okay. We got to stick with orange. Don't want to really bring any other color palette in. What about these orange ones? How would that look? Just a little bit of a orange touch. These also have kitty cats inside them. They're holographic, so it makes everything kind of look green. I don't know. I think we're just going to go with the gems. So there you go, guys. Voila, we're done. All right, so you see we went ahead and we stayed with our 5 gems and our 5 little elements. The purse or the bucket counts as part of the pumpkin, so we're still good. All right, I think I am going to go add a little bit of glimmer to the top of the little purse, just because, with like a Winkostella pin. Oh no, actually I'll just paint it with some of our sparkle. All right, guys. Well, that's a little introduction to the Nibbles Candy Ghost. And remember, so we have the Candy Ghost. We have a mushroom, which is so super cute, super cute. And then we have this little acorn guy. He makes an acorn. And this one's a bear. However, it's a Christmas bear. It can be a polar bear, and it can be just a regular bear. And then we have Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. I'm doing Mrs. Claus next because this is her bun right here. Mrs. Claus, this is her bun that goes right, and this is her hair. So her hair goes on top, then the bun goes on top of that. So super cute. And then this is her little apron and her little collar. She's just so cute. She has all the little girly parts right there. And I think she's super cute. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed your Halloween making a card with Picket Fence Studios today. We will take a picture of it and get it put out somewhere. Don't forget to visit today's blog post. Yes, with all the inspiration that's on there. And we'll get a picture taken of this and get it out there to you guys. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming and saying hello. Thank you to Jen and to Megan for sticking in with me through the show. They made everything run. Everything went smooth. So it was great. All right. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.